Alright everyone, today I want to share with you guys the exact strategy in detail here of what you want to consider doing if your goal is to get the most possible rewards per hour from farming Chaos Dungeons. If you're trying to get as many drops per hour as you can, you really want to consider using this strategy compared to the normal method of just going through and killing everything and just kind of casually farming your Chaos Dungeons. Now, another important thing about this method here is not only is it going to end up getting you more drops and rewards, but it's also going to end up getting you more gold portals and more boss portals. Those are kind of like the pink to purplish ones, which is really useful because even after your Aura of Resonance is depleted, you can still end up getting valuable stuff from those like honing materials. So let's get into it, and I will also mention a lot of my last few videos have focused primarily on tier 3 stuff. This strategy is useful in all tiers. Tier 1, 2, and 3, it doesn't matter. You could use this strategy in any tier regardless. And another important thing is you want to make sure that you still do your first 2 daily runs on each character, your runs with your Aura of Resonance the same way that you're probably already used to. Killing everything, clearing everything. You want to just do it the normal way. This is only for when you're farming your Chaos Dungeons and you're trying to really maximize your rewards per hour after you've already reached 0 Aura of Resonance. And I'm going to talk it through here. I'm going to explain everything in detail here. And I'm actually going to do this example here in Tier 2. So let's head over to a Tier 2 Rift here. And the first room, just like with your Aura of Resonance actually, both your Infinite Chaos and your regular Chaos runs, your goal in the first room is to just get to the second room as quickly as possible. Not as big of a deal if you accidentally kill a few mobs in Infinite Chaos because the stakes aren't as high, but as soon as you see the portal, you just want to end up moving to the next room. So that's basically going to be our goal. And the important things are really once you end up getting to the second room. So it's the second room that you're going to want to do things very specifically. Now, what I will say, though, is you really don't want to use your Awakening skill in the first room, because right as we actually enter the second room, I'm going to use my Awakening, and I want to make sure that it's off of cooldown for when I enter the second room. So try to avoid it in the first room here, and you'll see exactly why as I kind of lay out how the second room works and what you're going to want to actually do. So the portal's going to appear at around 15, 16, 17-ish%, so it should be showing up here any second. Make sure to really pay attention to this with your Aura of Resonance. You don't want to kill any of extra guys in that room that you don't have to. And here we are. Now we're in the second room, and this is where things become a little bit more important. So when you actually enter the second room, what's going to happen is 3 mini bosses are going to spawn. That's the yellow icon on the minimap. The red icon is the bigger boss. And what you're going to try to do is group them up together, and you're going to want to try to use your Awakening ability on all the bosses. You might miss one. It's not a big deal. You know, it's really just the better you're able to do this, the more time you're able to save. So you don't have to be a perfectionist. But as you do this more and more, you'll get in the habit of it more. You might already actually be used to doing this. This is kind of how I do my Chaos Dungeons normally anyway. But gather all of the mini-bosses together and try to get them all down all at once. And it's really important because when we actually use our Awakening ability at this point in the second room, if we use it right at the start of the second room, it's actually going to be off cooldown again for the red boss, which is going to allow us to kill the red boss a lot quicker as well. So let's go ahead and see. Unfortunately, this one a bit unlucky as one of the bosses actually spawned all the way in that corner, and that's just kind of how it goes. Sometimes you'll get a bit luckier, sometimes you won't. So now we're just going to go ahead and use the Awakening there. And still, once we end up finishing this room here, once we end up finishing these orange bosses, and before the red boss actually spawns, my Awakening ability is actually going to end up being off cooldown. So as much of the yellow bosses as you can clear, the quicker and easier it's going to make getting to the red boss. And basically we're just going to focus on these orange bosses here until the red boss actually appears. And then very importantly, once we actually get to the red boss, you want to make sure that the orange bosses are all dead as well. And kill the red boss, which is going to end up showing the portal. Now, this is where you have the possibility to get a gold portal or a boss portal. Only in this room right here. This is your one shot and your one opportunity. So, obviously, if you get a gold portal or a boss portal, you're going to go and you're going to run that. But if you don't end up getting a gold portal or a boss portal, very importantly, I'm going to explain what to do here. So, we're just waiting for the red boss here to show up. Don't kill any more mobs than we really have to. There he is. There's the red boss. You can see on the minimap. And then once this guy goes down, as you can see, we have our Awakening ability up, and it's going to spawn the portal to the next room. So we end up killing this dude, and no gold room, unfortunately, no boss room, unfortunately. But now we end up moving to the next room, and what we're actually going to do here is we're done. We're just going to leave now, and we're going to start over. We're done with this. We're not actually going to do the third level. We're going to completely skip it. Now, very importantly, I want to say, make sure don't do this strategy for your 2 regular runs with your Aura of Resonance. With your Aura of Resonance, you want to absolutely 100% make sure you completely run your Chaos Dungeons. It would be a complete disaster not to. But this is for your Infinite Chaos and for farming, because there's no penalty, and it doesn't take any resources to re-enter. So the main thing is we're just trying to get as much resources, loot, and drops as possible. Now, why this way? Why is it important to do it this way? And it makes a very, very big difference for a couple of different reasons. And I want to focus on the very big one. There's 2 big ones in particular. So the first really big reason why is the red boss. The red boss actually drops a lot of the stuff that you actually end up getting, especially in tier 3, like those destruction stones and those guardian stones. The red boss actually is going to be responsible for a huge amount of those resources that you get in the Chaos Dungeon. So by doing this method here, it's going to allow you to get more red boss kills per hour, and because a lot of those important resources are focused as a drop from that red boss, you're going to just end up getting more resources per hour. So that's one important reason. The other one is the amount of portals that you get for the gold room and the boss room. Doing this is going to obviously take less time because you're completely skipping the third level, and it's going to allow you in the same period of time, if we take like a 1-hour block and we do this and skip level 3 for 1 hour straight, and then we do a 1-hour block where we run level 3 and do all the levels, it's going to get more opportunities to kill that red boss in the second level and to spawn a gold portal or a boss portal. Also, on top of that, those are the 2 big reasons, but the third one is if you actually do a breakdown of how many resources you get per minute spent in the third level, it's just not nearly as good. The amount of time that you have to spend clearing out these little red rift crystals, it's not worth it. There's no setback to leaving and starting over, and with all the benefits, this is really the way that you want to go about it if your number 1 goal is to try to get as many drops and resources per hour as you can. And don't worry about the gold room and the boss room. Even though you might not have any Aura of Resonance, they still drop valuable resources. Like getting a couple of honing materials, especially in tier 3, even though it might not seem like much, and the chance to actually get those rooms feels pretty low, any extra opportunity to get those rooms is a big deal, because if you just end up getting a couple of tier 3 honing mats, even just one could be several hundred gold for just one singular tier 3 honing material from one of those rooms. It's a big deal, so getting more opportunities to spawn those makes a huge difference. So this is really what you want to consider if your goal is, min-maxing and whatnot, but I wanted to go over this. I wanted to kind of explain it in detail, as well as how to kill the mobs in a way so that hopefully it makes it a bit quicker. But anyway, a lot of people have been asking about this a lot, and I've talked about it a bit on the live stream, but I wanted to actually put this out in a bit more detail because I've been doing this on the stream now for several days, and I always get questions about it, so I thought I would lay it out. Now you guys know, and hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a quick like, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this in the future, and feel free to check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/salt, where I'll be streaming Lost Ark as well as other games. That's going to be about it for now. Thanks again, everyone. Take care, and until next time.